Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Never Stop Media Jury Room, where our viewers will join the live stream and deliberate an actual court trial as if they were on the real jury. Now, tonight's jurors will deliberate the state of Wisconsin versus Mark Jensen court case. Mark Jensen is on trial for first-degree intentional homicide in the tragic death of his beloved wife, Julie Jensen. Just like a real trial, we asked our jurors a series of questions known as voir dire. Here are the questions that each juror was asked. Okay, the emails that we sent out said this: welcome to the Never Stop Media mock jury room interview process. As you see during trials, lawyers and judges question potential jurors in a process called voir dire. Below, you will find your voir dire interview questions. Please answer them to the best of your ability and with the utmost honesty, as this is important to maintain the fairness to the defendant and our legal system. The jury room live stream will start on Friday, January 27th, 2023 at 7 p.m. prompt. Please be on time so other jurors are not waiting. Once the live stream starts, you will be emailed a link to join the stream. This will be anonymous, so even our chat members will not know who is in the jury room. You will enter your juror number as your name. And please do not turn your camera on to preserve the sanctity of your anonymity. Your juror number will be given to you upon completion of the voir dire questions, should you be picked to be on the jury. Thank you for your interest in participating in our first jury room live stream. Remember, we are discussing serious issues of an actual case. The jury room is meant as entertainment. Now, juror number 2 was asked 4 questions. This is funny. Question number 1. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest? Juror number 1's response: my cat, Mac, because he is a user. He refuses to get a job and just wants to hang out with my husband. He is a dick. You kind of know the sex of the juror based off that answer. But that happens in voir dire sometimes. Number 2, what would be your weapon of choice in a zombie apocalypse? Juror number 2 wrote, just these guns, and put some emojis with some guns right there. Because everyone knows you have to rip their heads off. I also prefer hand to hand. For the members of the stream chat, okay, that are watching tonight, we are going to put up a poll for you guys. Now, this poll is not what you think regarding Mr. Jensen's guilt or innocence. Okay, we do that all day during the trial. The poll is what you think our mock jury are going to decide. In my best Bobby Boy, Jam Boy voice I can come up with on the fly last minute. The facts of the case are these. For years, Mark Jensen slowly tortured Julie Jensen by continuously and strategically laying out penis pictures because of his sick obsession with penises. In his sadistic, creepy, and narcissistic way, he left harassing phone calls. He spent months on the computer looking up poisons. Are you aware of that? Botulism. Are you aware of that? Explosions. And how to unalive your wife. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you why. Because I like to tell people the answer to.
So I guess we're just going to go through and we'll ask everyone, do you think Mark Jensen is guilty, not guilty, or are you undecided of first-degree murder at this time? So we're just going to go in order. So juror number 1.
Not guilty.
Okay. And juror number 3.
Not guilty.
And juror number 4.
Guilty.
Okay. And I am juror number 2. And I am also, I'm leaning towards not guilty, but I am still undecided. I'm trusting any of the snitches, to be honest. And then Aaron Dillard, we all know Aaron Dillard. He's the one who says that Mark Jensen confessed to him in lockup. And, you know, I don't know how you guys feel about him as far as he had access to Jensen's papers in the cell. There were other witnesses that came forward to say that other inmates had access to his cell, you know. What do you guys think about that?
I think he had access to the papers. I mean, to me, Mark was a little naive when he was in jail. You know, he didn't know what the hell was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But Dillard, I found is a complete liar. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I think everything he said was a lie.
You know, whereas I actually took notes about that. I'll come for you. You know, if you lie, if you don't say what you're supposed to say, I will come for you. You've heard about me in prison, right? Are you kidding me, bro? You know, that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Okay. So like the neighbors, like the close neighbors, I kind of thought that they were all a bunch of gossips. And I'm not including the Voights, Ted and his wife, Mrs. Voight. I'm not including them. When I say the close neighbors, I'm talking about you know, her friends, the mommies and those neighbors that she hung out with and did birthday parties with and, you know, carpooled with and all that stuff.
The book club group.
Yes, the book club ladies.
Yeah, you know they did a lot of gossiping in those groups.
Yes.
Women get
Yeah.
together, they gossip.
And I think that could definitely influence witness testimony, as you know, you get like a one memory of a situation when everybody's talking the same stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not that they're lying. I just think it's not credible testimony.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she was hanging out with them every, like, well, they did like birthday parties together. They had the book club and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not tell your girls what's going on in your household? Why would you go to the teacher, tell the teacher you think your husband might be killing you? And you know what I mean? Why would
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
the other neighbors that you weren't really close to, that weren't in a book club, why would you go to them and tell them, hey, I think my husband might be trying to kill me and I'm not eating anything that he tries to feed me or drink to, you know what I mean? I don't know why
Yes.
she didn't tell her close friends anything.
She was planning. You know, she was no dummy.
Right. Which even the testimony today, you know, about when it comes to Laura Coster, the sister of Mark Jensen and her best friend, all the information about her college and the college transcripts and her grades and all the classes she was taking, you know, it doesn't the state's case doesn't really hold water when you're trying to make this woman look like a stupid wallflower that doesn't know how to turn on a freaking computer. You know,
Exactly.
when she's using Quicken and she's making invitations and she's getting A's in biochem and all these other different human studies and pharmacological A plus for Julie, you know. So And even the sister-in-law said, if I was sick, I would go to her and say, listen, I feel this thing, I have an upper respiratory thing.
Yeah, she wasn't taking like 101 classes. They were advanced
Right.
classes.
Hi.
Well, I think Mark's guilty.
Okay.
Okay, now, I mean, I'm going to speak from a little bit of experience being in prisons or jails.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the witnesses do tell the truth. Because when you're walking around a cell block or whatever, there's nothing for you to do. So, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to talk about your case. I mean, I believe the Thompson, a little bit of it's credible because he's sitting here planning it. Mark did try to pay the money to get the witness knocked off. What did he have to hide? But and
And
then
then,
you still got the stuff with Mark looking stuff up on the computer also. You
well,
can't
we
just
we
blame
discussed,
Julie for it.
yeah. Well, right. We did discuss that at length before you came on about that, and I don't know how much of the testimony you were able to watch today, but when um, Laura Coster, Mark's sister and Julie's best friend, testified, she went over Julie's grades from nursing school, which she didn't complete her bachelor's, but she did get her associate's degree. And
But
all the
Mark's
classes
the
that she
broker
took,
though. He's looking up
so
stocks
was
all the time.
Julie. So was Julie. She had her Series 7's license, and she got that while at home studying, having 2 children.
There's a lot of men out there, men and women, who do both the same thing. But like you said, that doesn't make them a murderer. If something happens to their spouse.
My question is like, Kelly, like in the emails, it's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna do. What are you gonna do? And he's like, I'll figure it out. Basically, and that's what gets me. Like, she was willing to like give him a little bit. He knew what she was gonna do. She's gonna divorce her husband. But when she asked him, he was like, very invasive and didn't like give her anything. And I think he didn't give her anything because if you are with someone who's gonna murder their wife, right, or kill unalive your wife, I think that you wouldn't tell the person that you want to be with that that's what you're going to do, because they're not going to want to be with you.
Today,
Wow.
his sister said that when Julie told her that she thought that he was going to kill her. She said, well, come to my house then. Get the kids and come to my house. Or go to, I think, Peter's house, her brother.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't she have done something like that if she was so concerned about, being poisoned by Mark and her children possibly being poisoned also?
The Series 7 thing, just real quick. So candidates must be associated with and sponsored by FINRA. That's why we heard a lot about the FINRA stuff. So once they get that, a candidate who passes the Series 7 exam is qualified for the solicitation, purchase, and or sale of all securities products, including corporate securities, municipal fund securities, options, direct participation programs, investment company products, and variable contracts. If you obtained a general securities representative, Series 7, registration prior to November 7th, 2011, you will be able to trade municipal securities, structure municipal securities underwritings, and perform certain other activities involving municipal securities. I'm done chatting.
What about
There's no doubt in my mind that she was more proficient on a computer than what she let everybody really know.
listen, she was more proficient on a computer than I was in 1998.
Exactly. I'm not tech savvy at all. But I can definitely turn it on and do Excel or something.
The police interrogation video in 1999, April of 1999. Now, I'm going to preface this. Everybody knows what my thoughts are, but I'm going to play the bad guy right now. 1999, Pleasant Prairie interviews Mark. It's a 4-hour interview. And Mark says in that interview that he sat and watched Julie die and he did nothing.
Yeah, well, I think we were going to get there. We still have to talk about the doctors and the.
Well, let's go there now.
Okay.
I'm the bad guy now, so now I'm in here. So that means if he's sitting there watching her die, then he's part of her death, and that's intentional homicide. He's there. He's helping her die. He's watching her die. So let's get there.
Well, it's negligent homicide, you know.
Yeah, but he's not charged with negligent homicide. He's charged with first
He's
degree.
charged with first degree murder, but that's not first degree murder. Is watching someone die and doing nothing about it. And if we're bringing up stuff that's not admissible, and that's been ruled on that it's not admissible in this case, then we have to talk about the DA and all his stuff and his little 2-hour car rides to score, you know, a big old fat baggie of cocaine, and how he purchased cocaine from snitch number 2, David Thomas.
Hey, now let's not talk about the scandals that are surrounding me. All right.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you want to air out the laundry, let's like empty the vacuum cleaner bag while we're at it. You know what I'm saying?
My extracurricular activities about ski trips and lying pathologists, okay, ladies, that look, she didn't.
Missing autopsy report.
No, that is incorrect. That is
missing
incorrect.
911 call.
That is an offensive allegation. She was fired because she was not board certified. She was not board certified. I am going to stand over you. She is not board certified. That is the reason she was fired. I object. This is an inflammatory, argumentative statement by the jurors.
It's irrelevant.
That too. So talk about that. Talk about the scandals that, and you guys know this, but the jury doesn't.
Well,
but talk
the
about
autopsy report's missing. The 911 call is missing, and everyone's like, "Oh, why didn't you call 911?" Yeah, he didn't call 911 when she was actively dying. He called 911 after she was dead. But you don't have that phone call to say, "Okay, was he really upset when he found her dead?"
Well, Mark's feeding her Ambien. He's crushing up Annie. He's crushing up the pills. He's feeding it to her. He's you know, he's giving her the antifreeze, a whole liter of antifreeze. Okay.
It was not a liter of antifreeze. Wackadoo.
Half a teaspoon.
I don't think that's accurate. I think it was a liter.
55 milliliters per.
That sounded like you said a liter. 55 liters now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, why would anybody in their right mind drink antifreeze? That's gross. That's disgusting. That doesn't even make sense. Who would do that? And poor Julie, you're talking about Julie Jensen, this loving mother.
Well, we know she wasn't in her right mind. We know she wasn't in her right mind. But it's not our job to figure out whether she was in her right mind and if she was planning on, you know, doing the Gone Girl thing and taking up with Perry Tarica in Costa Rica. That's not our job. Our job is to figure out whether or not Mark is guilty of first-degree murder, which is the only charge on the table, guys. It's the only charge on the table. We have nothing else to give him. We don't have conspiracy to commit kidnapping. We don't have negligent homicide, which would have been a very plausible one, which, you know, we all know that he's serving time, so he's going to get time served if they actually are smart enough to come up with a lesser charge, you know.
Like, let me get close to the camera because I want you to see it. She is breathing in the bed like this, ladies. There is no way.
If she was breathing like that, when people die, it's called a death rattle in your chest, and you know that they're dying. So I don't believe that whatsoever.
You know, it's funny. You're doing such a good impression of the DA that I want to punch you in the face.
Listen, there's a lot of punches.
That's how spot on it is.
We can keep going. Again, I'm going to throw in a few random things for you guys because these are some of the things. The reason I'm doing this is because there's some things that I really want you guys to highlight and I want you guys to explain away. So I'm going to throw some loops for you, but I'm going to be funny about it and be Bobby Boy Jam Boy when I do it. And for the chat that's watching, We're not trying to disrespect Julie. We all know that Julie Jensen's death was very tragic. It's unfortunate. So we're trying to obviously do this with some care and whatnot, but because it is so tragic and unfortunate, we're trying to be a little lighthearted about this. None of us like Bob, so we're trying to make fun of him too a little bit. So that's the point there. But like I said, I am gonna some of those very powerful, damning things. I am gonna throw out there because you guys need to either agree with those things or explain it away.
For me, the holdout is Kelly giving him to the end of the year, and they're making all these plans. Where do you want to live? Blah blah this, blah blah that, and what he had more knowledge of computers. Obviously, he did build his own.
One.
Yes.
Yeah. Later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he obviously had, and he did what he did that the turtle thing.
Right.
And he also had access to other people's computers in his office. So it could have came from any of those computers, and they only took the one from the office, not everyone's computers.
And it was 4 years later.
Mm-hmm. And I really think that even though she knew how to do the QuickBooks or whatever it was that she knew how to do, I think maybe that's all she knew how to do.
She made the party invitations. She knew how to do a lot more. She was a licensed stockbroker.
Yeah, but you're not a licensed stockbroker at home. You know, you're not going to look up licensed stockbroker stuff at home. You know what I mean?
There was internet searches for stockbroker stuff on the computer.
When she went through the Stifel Nicholas directory to look for Kelly's, one of those searches, whatever it was, I think it was between 1:30 and 2:30 in the morning. She looked for the Kellys, and then there was some stockbroker stuff that she was looking up.
Wasn't she looking up another guy too?
I can't remember what the stock was, but yeah, I don't know. But I mean, the fact that he had an obsession with pornography and everything else that he had going on, it doesn't make him a killer.